All right, gather around, my financially curious friends, because today we're talking about the real reason most people stay broke. And no, it's not because you don't budget enough, or because you didn't buy the dip, or even because you skipped that one How to Get Rich in Your 20s podcast episode all your friends watched. It's something way sneakier. Something so subtle that you probably didn't even realize it's happening to you right now as you watch this video. It's the number one wealth killer nobody talks about, and it's called financial drift. But before you scroll away thinking, that sounds boring, stick with me, because this silent little monster is the reason why so many smart, capable people earn more, save less, and wake up in their 40s wondering where all their money went. It's not some giant financial explosion. It's more like a slow leak. One extra subscription here, a lifestyle upgrade there, a harmless treat yourself moment times 55. And suddenly, your finances are off course like a plane that's only 2 degrees off at a takeoff and somehow managed to land in the middle of the ocean. The worst part? You don't feel it. It doesn't hurt. It actually feels fine. That's how it works so well. But today, we're calling it out. Because once you understand how financial drift works and how to fix it, you can finally start building wealth on purpose, not just hoping it shows up one day. So what exactly is financial drift? It's the slow, sneaky way that your spending increases without you even noticing. There's no big blowout purchase, no massive life event. It's just little decisions day after day that quietly shift your entire financial trajectory. You get a raise? Great, but instead of banking that entire income, you upgrade your car, or start eating more out, or move into slightly nicer apartments that suddenly cost 40% more. It feels normal. It even feels deserved, and that is financial drift. It's like weight gain, but for your wallet. Slow, steady, and almost invisible until you look in the mirror or your bank account and start to wonder what the hell happened. Here's the dangerous part. Most people don't even know they're drifting. They're not out here throwing money at yachts or buying Gucci wallets for their dog. They're just doing what feels comfortable, what everyone else is doing, what their income says they can do. But income and wealth are not the same thing, and neither are lifestyle upgrades and progress. In fact, financial drift is the reason so many people making over $100,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. It's why your savings account hasn't moved in years, and it's why your dream of financial freedom by 35 are now looking more like maybe I'll retire at 72 if my back holds up. Drift is what happens when you don't make intentional financial choices. It's what happens when you coast. And spoiler alert, nobody accidentally coasts into wealth. But the good news is that drift can be reversed. Okay, let's zoom in on how this sneaky little thing called financial drift actually kills your wealth. Because it doesn't show up like a financial emergency. It shows up like a lifestyle upgrade wrapped in convenience and topped with a sprinkle of, I deserve this. You start making more money, and naturally, you start spending more. Not because you're reckless, but because it just feels right. You work hard, you want comfort. So, your $1,500 rent becomes $2,000, your car goes from used and reliable to sleek and German, and your grocery trips? Well, let's just say Whole Foods starts seeing you more than your family does. And before you know it, your expenses have silently scaled up right alongside your income. So even though you're earning more, saving becomes just as hard as it used to be, if not harder. This is exactly how people make six figures still end up with $0 in savings. It's how folks double their salary and somehow still stress out about bills. Because their lifestyle expands to fill their paycheck like gas expanding to fill a container. Every new dollar is already spoken for before it even hits the account. And here's the dark truth. Financial drift feels safe. It feels like you're making progress, but it's the same illusion that traps high-income earners into middle-class struggles. The house gets nicer, the clothes get trendier, but the freedom, still on the back order. You get stuck in what I like to call the bougie broke cycle, looking successful on the outside, but stressed and trapped on the inside. The worst part? Drift is addictive. It conditions your brain to expect upgrades. And once your brain gets a taste of that nicer lifestyle, it fights like hell to keep it, even if it means sacrificing your long-term wealth. Alright, let's talk about how to slam the brakes on financial drift before it turns your wallet into a ghost town and your bank account into the punchline. Because here's the truth. Drift doesn't stop on its own. It doesn't tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, maybe hold off on the Amazon orders and skip the $9 smoothies that aren't actually healthy this week. No, it keeps going until you choose to stop it. And the first step is awareness. You have to track what's actually happening to your own money. Pull up your bank statements, face the music, and ask yourself the scary question: has my spending grown faster than my income? If the answer is yes, then congratulations, you're perfectly normal, and that's the problem. The next step is to create what I like to call a lifestyle cap. This is where you intentionally decide not to let your expenses rise every time your income does. You get a raise? Cool. Celebrate with sushi, not a second car. The goal is to freeze your lifestyle, even temporarily, so the gap between what you make and what you spend can actually start working for you a little bit. And the best hack of all is to automate your wealth building. The second you get paid, send money to your savings, investments, and debt payoff before you even see it. Because if it never hits your checking account, it can't be drifted away on late night impulse buys or treat yourself weekends. You can even set anti-drift checkpoints every 6 months. Take just 20 minutes to ask yourself, has my spending crept up? Are my savings on track? Treat it like a performance review for your future. Because here's the thing, controlling drift isn't about being cheap, it's about being free. It's not about saying, I can't have nice things. It's saying, I want financial freedom more than temporary flexes. Let's zoom out for a second here, because fighting lifestyle drift isn't just about saving an extra $50 here and there. It's about what happens when those small decisions start to stack over time. The compound effect. And no, not the book. Here's the idea. Every time you don't inflate your lifestyle with that new raise or don't upgrade your car just because your neighbor did, you create a wider and wider gap between your income and your expenses. And that gap, that's where wealth lives. Let's say you make $60K a year. Most people, when they go to $70K, immediately level up their apartment, buy new clothes, get fancy gym memberships that have eucalyptus towels, and boom, $0 left over again. But not you. You lock in your lifestyle at $60K and keep that extra $10K working for you. You invest it, you use it to build a business, you save it for freedom, not flexes. Now do that again when you go from 70 to 90K, and again and again. Next thing you know, you've got a $50K lifestyle and a $200,000 income. That's not just financial stability, that's financial dominance and a future of freedom. The reason this works so well is because you're using one of the most powerful tools in all of finance, consistency. And when you pair that with time and compound interest, you stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building a money machine that doesn't need you to work forever. Meanwhile, your friends who upgraded everything every year, they're still broke. They're just wearing nicer shoes. Here's the bottom line. The person that keeps their lifestyle small while their income grows will always build more wealth than the person who chases upgrades. Always. All right, let's get tactical, because avoiding lifestyle drift isn't just about saying no to everything. It's about designing a system that lets you say yes to the right things and no to the things that quickly wreck your finances. There's 5 steps to do this, and the first one is to set yourself a lifestyle cap. Before your income goes up again, yes, before, decide on a spending limit that feels good, but is still modest. Lock it in. Maybe that's $45K a year. Maybe it's 70. The number doesn't matter as much as the discipline to stick with it, even as your income rises. Once you have that, you could automate the gap. Every time you get a raise, don't touch it. Set up an automatic transfer that pushes the difference straight into savings, investments, or a freedom fund. Out of sight, out of impulse. Now we can start to build what I like to call a treat budget. Because here's the thing, if you try to live like a monk forever, you'll eventually snap and buy a flamethrower on Amazon at 2 a.m. So carve out a tiny guilt-free fun budget. Not for stuff that feels necessary, but for what actually brings you joy. Be honest, a $20 budget for weekly sushi can stop you from blowing $200 on a random weekend out. Trust me. The 4th step is to review annually, not monthly. This is exactly where most people mess up. They obsess over daily tracking and burn out. Instead, do a lifestyle audit once a year. Ask yourself, did my lifestyle expand faster than my income? If yes, scale back. If no, congrats, you're officially the silently rich friend. And the last step is to literally make drift the enemy. Seriously, label it. Write down lifestyle drift equals broke in disguise on your mirror if you have to, because when you name the villain, it's way easier to defeat it. Avoiding drift isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. All right, my financially future-proof friend, let's bring this all together. If you've made it this far, then you already know the number one wealth killer isn't bad luck, low salary, or not investing into the next crypto moonshot. It's lifestyle drift. That sneaky, silent habit of letting your expenses rise every time your income does. It's what keeps six-figure earners living paycheck to paycheck. It's what traps people in the rat race even after promotions, bonuses, and career wins. And it's why so many people look rich, but wake up every day feeling broke. But now, you're not one of them. Because you understand that wealth isn't built by earning more. It's built by keeping more. It's built in the gap between what you make and what you spend. And when you protect that gap, you unlock options. The option to invest, to take time off, and the option to say no to that soul-sucking job or yes to that once-in-a-lifetime trip without going into debt. And here's the best part. You don't need to live like a hermit or say no to everything fun. You just need a plan. A spending cap, a system, and a commitment to living like you're 10% poorer than you actually are. Because while everyone else upgrades their lifestyles with every raise, you're upgrading your freedom. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you get a raise, a bonus, or even just an unexpected refund, don't touch it. Save it. Invest it. Let it build your wealth behind the scenes while your lifestyle stays the same. That's exactly how you beat the lifestyle drift. If you've made it to the end, drop a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe for more stick-figure level financial freedom. Now go out there and protect your wealth like it's your favorite hoodie, and wear it proudly in silence.